Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Headbanger's Closet. So this morning I was watching my good buddy VK, his channel, the Zeppel Hanger, the Zeppel channel, and he does this series that I absolutely love. It's called The First One, The One You Never Forget, where he talks about an album from a band. That's the first record he got from that band, and then he talks about that record, and then talks about a show he went to. And this week's video installment of that series was Cheap Trick. He talked about one of the records that they had that he picked up, the first one he got from Cheap Trick, and then a show. And he just recently saw them in Chicago, so he had some video clips of that show, which was really, really cool. So it inspired me to do my own kind of version of that. And this video is going to be about Sacred Reich. Got the shirt here from the latest album, Awakenings. And Sacred Reich is a band I've liked since high school. They came out in '85. I think they put out their first stuff released in the U.S. like in the late 80s, like 87, 88, around that time frame. But I didn't get into them until high school. I got into high school in 1991, and sometime between 91 and 94, 90 maybe, 94 is when I was in high school. Sometime around that is when I got into them. I was into Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, Anthrax, Judas Priest, Sepultura, Creator, bands like that. But Sacred Reich was kind of, I knew who they were, but I really wasn't into them. But I had this one friend that was always listening to bands in the same genre as we were that we just really hadn't heard much of yet. And he introduced me to Sepultura, he introduced me to Sacred Reich, he introduced me to Destruction and Sodom and bands like that. Thrash metal bands, heavy metal bands that we just kind of weren't really on our radar just yet. So I can chalk this one up to him, that he got me into Sacred Reich. Now, around that time, like 92, 93, is when I bought my first Sacred Reich record. This is the Sacred Reich Surf Nicaragua EP. One of my favorite EPs. I just think it's super cool. The song Surf Nicaragua is badass. They got an awesome, awesome cover of War Pigs on here. Highly recommend everybody just go in and pick this up if they can. It's not super rare, but I haven't actually seen it very much out in the wild in the last like 20 years or so. But, go on YouTube, listen to it. Check out the version of War Pigs. It's so badass. But other than that, I really didn't own a ton from Sacred Reich. Everything was like, burned CDs, copied tapes, stuff like that. But I was a fan of the band, all through high school and college. I listened to their stuff, and eventually picked up Ignorance in the American Way CDs along the way. But they broke up in around 2000 and then reformed maybe like the late 2000s, like 2008, 9, something like that. And in 2019, the original bass player and vocalist Paul, and then guitar player Willie, they got a couple of new guys in the band. Unfortunately, the original drummer passed away. But they were able to get a couple of the guys in the band. And in 2019, they put out the latest album, Awakening. And this thing's awesome. Like, so you could give this record to somebody and say, oh, check out the Sacred Reich album. And they wouldn't know, like, what order it came in. It sounds like, all these bands, their best stuff's like in the 80s, right? Like 80s, early 90s. This album sounds like it could have been out at that time. It's that good. It's basically a return to form. I don't want to say return to form because like they never really like changed anything. It's just more of what we come to love and know and expect from Sacred Reich. Absolutely amazing record. The same political and war type subject matter in the lyrics, with just awesome thrash metal, fast, in your face riffs and solos, awesome stuff. So I was really excited that when this came out in 2019, I picked it up from Metal Blade Records. Kind of show you guys right away with the album. Liner notes, insert lyrics and some pictures of the guys. The drummer that they got is basically a dude that's like their same age, and then the guitar player they got, he's like super young. He looks super young, at least. He looks like he could be one of the guys' kids or something like that. This is the album. Matches the album cover, that desert camo, black, tan, and gray and white splatter, which is really sharp looking. That's also where I got the shirt. You could buy the bundle. I was able to pick that up because I actually did not own any Sacred Reich merch either. So let's put this back. So this came out, like I said, came out in 2019, and we all know what happened the very next year in 2020. COVID happened, and they were supposed to go on a tour, and it was obviously canceled by COVID. And then I want to say like in 2021 or 2022, they were supposed to come back to Atlanta again. And for something going on with the guys in the band, like one of the guys, like either an illness or an injury or something happened with the guy's family, they had to cancel that show as well. So you can imagine my excitement. Never seen them before. I've been waiting a long time. When I saw this come across my Twitter feed or Instagram feed, I'm not really sure which one, Carcass, the headlining tour with Sacred Reich, Municipal Waste, and Direct Support, and then the opener, Creeping Death, May 7th, April 7th, 2023 at the Masquerade in Atlanta, and I was able to print this out. The picture that came across like Instagram or Twitter, I don't remember which one I saw first. I was able to print it out. Always like to print out those show flyers because no more ticket stubs. Everything's electronic. I try to print them out or snag them off the wall of the club if I happen to go there, the weeks prior to that particular show. So anyway, really excited. Me and my buddy Terry got tickets, went and met up with our good buddies Adam and his wife, Crystal, at the show, and had a great time. I was there to see Sacred Reich and Municipal Waste. I wasn't really much of a Carcass fan, but Creeping Death, the opener, is a really cool death metal band from Texas. Excuse me. Highly recommend checking them out. I've seen them a bunch of times live before. They always deliver. They're really, really good. And they were, the new album of theirs came out shortly after this particular show. But I was there to see Sacred Reich and Municipal Waste, and Sacred Reich did not disappoint. I talked about Municipal Waste before. I did a review of their latest record, and so I'm not really going to talk about them today. This is basically just Sacred Reich. But Sacred Reich put on an amazing show, played 10 songs, 4 from the new record, 6 from their classic albums, and they sounded absolutely amazing. The young dude on guitar completely shredded the place up. Face Melting Souls. I mean, he just played like it was his first ever show, and the Sacred Reich was his favorite band, and it was like, almost like a Tim Ripper Owens, Judas Priest kind of thing, Rockstar movie kind of thing. He got to be in his favorite band. That's what he looked like playing the show. Absolutely phenomenal performance. I got so many great photos of the show. Really, really excited. Super happy to finally be able to see Sacred Reich live. They're working on a new album. Hopefully it'll be out sometime late this year, maybe early next year. And in 2024, more Sacred Reich live shows. But before we get to that, just let me kind of run down the set list. Shows at the Masquerade in Atlanta. Excuse me, just awesome place to see a show. So they come out with a Divide and Conquer, which is off the new record, Awakenings. Then they go to The American Way, classic song off the album. And then it's Manifest Reality, another tune off the latest album. Then you got One Nation. Then you got Salvation, another tune off the latest record, Awakenings. And then you got Ignorance. Then Awakenings, which obviously the title track off the new album. And then they got Independent, Death Squad, and they close out the set with Surf Nicaragua, which sounded absolutely amazing. Crowd was completely into it. One of the few shows that the crowd is just as into the opening bands as they are the headliners. So everybody knew Sacred Reich. They've been around forever. Everybody was a fan, or at least could respect what they were bringing to the table. And the crowd was into it. They went nuts. Mosh pits, head banging. Everybody had their devil horns in the air. Just awesome, awesome show. Pretty cool merch, although I was disappointed. They had like 4 or 5 shirts, but a lot of them were out of my size. But I was able to pick up this one, which I thought was the best one anyway. It's the Sacred Reich, zombie soldier mascot. On the back says Violent Solutions. It was the only one they had in my size, and that's the one I would have gone for anyway. But my good buddy Terry was able to pick up 2 or 3 shirts. And that zombie guy is on this shirt as well. I can't really see because I'm sitting down, but it's the album cover. There he is right there. And then you've got it also on the Surf Nicaragua EP right here. Turn that off. There we go. So anyway, really cool stuff. Highly recommend everybody checking out the latest album, Awakenings, if you haven't. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below if you have. And like I said, they got a new album coming out. They're working on it right now, but they're also playing some shows this summer in Europe currently. And so thinking maybe late 2023, early 2024 when it's going to come out. That's just my guess. But anyway, check them out. They're awesome. Go back and listen to the old Sacred Reich stuff. Listen to Awakenings. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Did you happen to see this tour at all? Let me know what you think about it. I thought it was a great tour. And yeah, appreciate everybody checking out the channel. Thanks, VK, for the inspiration. And appreciate everybody checking it out. I'll have another video for you guys very soon. Cheers, everybody, and enjoy your weekend.